Hi, everybody. So excited to have you back. I'm Eli, and this is Decoding Yoga. And today we have, unfortunately, the last episode or the last part, actually, not the last episode, the last part of this topic that we started 4 weeks ago about the breath and all the myths around the myths around the breath and things that we have learned, especially in general, but especially in yoga. And with me, I have Inga to close this topic with some practical exercises. But Inga, well, thank you. Hello. How are you?
I'm very good. Happy to be back delving into this topic and wrapping it up with some practical exercises that hopefully the listeners will want to experience and explore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so before we go into that, I would like to summarize what we have been learning and to see if I did my homework properly. So the first thing that we talk, because we are decoding myths around the breath, is that take a deep breath in to relax. That is a myth. We already discussed that not necessarily more is better, that our body already, in general, in normal, healthy circumstances, we already have this normal saturation of oxygen that we need, about 96 to 98% of oxygen. So that is a take a deep breath in to relax. It's not necessarily true. The CO2 is the bad guy of the breathing of the gases. The O2, the oxygen, is the good guy. So we have learned that actually the CO2 is the key for a very effective use of the oxygen that we already have. And the other myth is that holding your breath is bad. Don't hold your breath, right? When we are actually, is one of the advanced techniques in the pranayama um, theory of the yogis to increase our tolerance to CO2. Am I correct in this summary?
exactly. Very correct. And yeah, putting all those things together, which are so important. Breathing bigger is not better. Carbon dioxide is super important, plays a massive role. And and yes, holding a breath is actually a thing we should practice doing a bit more to train our body to tolerate carbon dioxide more and to increase the threshold of that carbon dioxide, which triggers to inhale. So we want to delay that trigger that we would breathe less naturally, because probably most of us are over breathing because we don't move enough and we're constantly stressed.
Yeah, and when we move with a wrong breath. So we keep our nervous system always in alert, always in this panic mode. So we leave our body, our alive with our body and our mind in that stress mode, which is not healthy. So we wanted to make these programs for to help you to have a better and healthier life. This is the goal of this program, to help us to understand from the yoga perspective, because yoga is a lifestyle, how we can have and how we can achieve a healthier life. And breathing is the foundation of our physical and mental health, right? So, but today is a practical episode. So we ask you to have a timer with you. So maybe you have it in your phone, or you have your watch with you, or the timer that you use for baking, whatever. Even though I think that, yeah, that has seconds. Yeah, that has seconds, but it's hard to count, because Inga is going to invite us to do a test. So all together we're going to do a test. So let me put my timer here. We need the stopwatch, right? The one that
Yes, the
is
stop.
not the timer, is the stopwatch. So let's give it some time so people have it there. Because what are we going to do, Inga, with this? What are we trying here?
So basically, we will be measuring or just seeing what is our sensitivity to that carbon dioxide. How quickly does our body respond and react to that increasing level of carbon dioxide? So this is kind of a breath hold after the exhale. And it's very important that whilst we do this test, it's not going to be measuring your maximum ability to hold your breathing. That's not what we're trying to do. What we're trying to explore is just the comfortable pause So how quickly will your body respond to the buildup of that carbon dioxide? And you will feel the first definite sign to inhale, or that it's uncomfortable. So maybe your throat or your diaphragm will start to contract, like there's this involuntary movement happening. Your body will signal to you that you need to inhale because the carbon dioxide will be increasing. So we just want to measure in number of seconds how long it takes after taking a calm, light inhale, a calm, light exhale. After the exhale, we will hold that breath until that threshold where we feel the first definite sign that we need to inhale. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do.
Okay. So basically, to understand, we are going to hold our breath out, and we are not going to wait for that moment when we feel desperate, right? So they were like, that we have to gasp for air. Is they just that little first moment where we're like, okay, now I have to let go so the air can come in. So that first inhalation has to be calm, basically.
It has to be the same calm, the same subtle light breath as the first one that we take. Exactly. So we don't want to push ourselves too far. It's not about your maximum ability to hold breath. It's just how does your body respond to that buildup, and when does that first sign to inhale is triggered.
Awesome. Yeah? It's not a competition, right? Because I know mine's very low. So don't use me as a partner.
Exactly. This is where we can practice, what we practice in yoga to detach ourselves from ego or reduce it. So check that ego doesn't get too involved here, because ego could go you holding for much longer. But that's not the point.
This is not a free diving competition. Okay. That's good. So guide us, please.
Yes. So have your stopwatch ready and sit nice and tall, support your posture and support your breathing through that posture. And we just take a calm inhale through the nose and a calm exhale through the nose, and then hold your breathing and start your timer, your stopwatch after your exhale. And then allow that timer to run, holding your breathing until you start to feel that first definite sign that you need to inhale. You don't want to push it too far. Your next inhale should stay calm and light. And whenever you need to inhale, you stop your timer. So I'll just give another couple of moments if there's anyone holding for this long. But we are probably all done by now, normally. How is your score, Eli?
Well, I have to say that I'm very happy. Because when I did this first exercise with you, we were doing this in person here in Goa. My score was like 15.83, something like that. Someone said, "Oh, don't feel bad. It's almost 16." It was 15.23. So after that, I started doing honestly, the exercise that I've been doing is breathing through my nose, right? That is the only thing that I've been doing. Like be more. Yeah, being more conscious about that. And look, I increased 26.21. Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm like, oh.
Yes, and it does increase quite quickly when we just start to apply it a little bit. And that's a huge change, right? That you've now started to breathe through your nose. And especially because you go to the gym and you're doing those cardios, and now I've made you breathe through the nose. So not only you're breathing through the nose and reducing that over breathing pattern, but you're also breathing through the nose when you're working out. So that carbon dioxide is, increasing because you're exerting that energy, and you're training yourself to tolerate it much more. So it can increase quite quickly, but we shouldn't get too carried away if it doesn't increase too quickly, because these things take so long to reverse their habits, from years that we might have been over breathing.
Definitely. Yeah. And I don't do it all the time. So I went from, because I think I show it, but I didn't say it. I went from 15.83 to 26.21. right? And just a couple of weeks that every time I remember, it's not all the time, but every time that I remember normally when I'm in my yoga practice, I always breathe through my nose. I never like that sigh out. I feel that somehow like the energy was leaving me. So I want to keep the energy with me. So usually my yoga practice, in the asana practice, I always breathe through my nose. But when I was in the gym and I was doing this cardio or going the steps, if you have been in Sampoorna Yoga, you know that you have 166 steps to go to the top shala. So I will open my mouth, right? But and now I've been changing that and I can see a change there. So, okay, we have about 5 minutes. Do you have another exercise that we can do to improve this resistance that everybody can practice it at home?
Yes, and just a little finish off about the interpretation of that score is that above 25 is kind of like an indication that probably your breathing is not dysfunctional. Around 90% shows 90% confidence that your breathing is not showing dysfunctional breathing patterns. If you're under 25 seconds, it's an indication that maybe you are over breathing, maybe there's something there. But regardless of wherever that score may be, if anything, the lower your score, the more you have to gain from applying this. And where we ideally want to push that score, again, without our ego getting involved, but just for the health, for our mental health, our physical health, our performance, whatever. Our breathing is health, so it's going to impact all areas of our life. The optimal place we want to be at is 40 seconds, which sounds so big when we start.
Far away.
When I started, I was like at 15 seconds. My breathing was paradoxical, dysfunctional, and my anxiety and panic attacks were also the highest. So that's for this score. But now, exactly, how do we apply this in our day-to-day? So I'll mention a few things and then we can jump in a little exercise. So absolute foundation, number one, breathe through the nose at all times, as much as you can through your day. When you're resting, when you're working out, let your nose dictate the intensity of your workout. If you need to stop, better stop, but keep breathing through the nose. And try to pay attention, how are you breathing when you're sleeping? Because we sleep for 8-9 hours a day. So these patterns, how we're breathing, will follow us wherever we go, right? So we want to establish that nasal breathing as much as we can through the whole day. And then we want our breathing to be as quiet, as light, and as subtle throughout the day, and move away from chest shallow breathing. So we can come into a little exercise that I would like us to sit nice and tall, placing one palm on the chest and one palm on the belly above the navel. So it's really just in that space where the rib cage opens and in that space where our diaphragm lives. So relax your shoulders here. And then just start to feel the breath in through the nostrils. And feel the breath out through the nostrils. So we're inviting very gentle, calm, quiet breath in and out through the nose. And with his hand on your chest, can you invite your chest and upper body to completely relax, to be passive and still, that they're not moving up and down. And then direct the awareness of the movement of the breath on the hand on the belly. So we're inhaling very quietly through the nostrils and we feel the belly expand out. And you exhale very quietly through the nostrils and feel how the belly draws in. And now just start to soften and reduce the volume of the breath. So you're starting to take less, almost like you're sipping the air. As you inhale, that air maybe moves a centimeter or an inch into your nostrils. And as you exhale, it only leaves a centimeter, an inch out through the nostrils. So you're really reducing the volume of the breath. And you're slowing it down as well. if it's comfortable and you haven't yet, you can close your eyes, and I would just like to bring this visualization to your mind to imagine that your mind is like a candle flame and your breath is like the wind. The heavier the breath, the heavier that wind that moves the mind. So can you breathe so lightly that if that candle flame was by the tip of your nose, it would barely move? So just make your breathing completely quiet, invisible, imperceptible. And after one of these exhales, explore a longer pause. So maybe we do it together, taking the quietest inhale, the lightest exhale, then hold the breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let your breathing resume naturally. Don't let it become big. Keep it soft. And when you're ready, blink the eyes open and see if you can carry on breathing in this light way throughout your day. Thank you so much, Eli, and thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you, Inga, so much for all the things that you have shared, for the theory, for the knowledge, for opening our eyes, and hopefully we can carry on with this message in our own practice, in our own life, in and on and out of the mat. This is why very, very important that life happens and yoga happens off the mat as well. Thank you so much for listening. I'm gonna have you again here. We have so many things to talk. So thank you, Inga, for your time, for your knowledge, for sharing. Thank you, everybody, and please let us know how did it go with these exercises, and carry these through your day, through your practice, through your exercises. So thank you. Have a lovely week. Next month we will find you again here with another topic and with another another misconception that we want to decode. Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely week. Bye,
Thank
Inga.
you so much, Eli. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, and thank you so much for watching this video. After so many years of teaching in yoga teacher training courses, I realized that a lot of people don't understand exactly what yoga is, or they have a lot of misconceptions and doubts. And that's why I created the podcast Decoding Yoga. Every week, I share a new episode with you where I talk about cues, about postures, about yoga as a lifestyle, about these myths, these doubts, these ideas that we have been repeating in yoga classes, and we don't even know what they mean. We don't understand what those cues mean, and we keep repeating them. So we have repeated so many times that we believe they're true. So I hope you can join me in the next episode. You can watch the video here, or you can look for the show in any of the audio platforms available. And if you have a question, a doubt, you have heard a myth about yoga and you want some clarification, let me know below this video and I will be happy to create a program to reply to you. Thank you.